So I cannot stress this enough with everything that you do to start small. Sometimes it's like really crazy overwhelming to do something. I see this a lot where people will, they'll have sort of a grand thing and then they work through all of the decision points, every single thing before they even start. And what that does, it sort of kills the momentum. It kills anything from happening. I know that some people might say that that is like a wise thing to do, or that's just like, good strategy to think about problems before they occur. But in my experience, it never works out if you do that. It kills projects. You need to get going, get up and get going. It's going to be hokey, it's going to be ugly, but you just do it and you put it up and then you see what happens. I think we have this sort of belief that we can understand and anticipate all problems and all things before it happens. And honestly, I don't think we're good at that. I don't think humans are very good at that. We cannot identify what are going to be the binding points, the sort of, constraints on the decisions before we even do that. We might have completely different conceptualization of what are going to be the issues. And you simply just have to create something, build something, get out there until it actually is working. I know that is kind of a, it's not necessarily something that you probably want to hear, but there is not a lot, and I'm more and more thinking about this, is that there's actually not a lot of strategy in strategy. A lot of it is just executing, getting out there, doing the thing, and then figuring out as you go how to tell that story, and figuring out what is the thing that you want to do as you're doing it. We all have kind of like a conceptualization or a framework or a schema or a mental model or whatever on where things are going to go, right? Like for me, if you don't know, I'm building the whole reciprocity project, right? I have a conceptualization of where I think it can go. But a big part of it is just like me filling gaps with my own problems that I have. And I can see where that is and what it can do and all these kind of different things. But, that is a long ways away. And so how do I get there? Well, I just keep filling in the gaps, filling in the problems on what I'm already doing until it actually starts resembling what I've been thinking about and what is, what needs to be done. There is a lot that goes on to make something kind of click, and you never know what is the thing that actually makes you click. Sometimes it's like, the wording of something, or, a feature of something, or whatever, right? Like and you don't know what it is. Now, here's the other problem that I find with, thinking through all of the problems beforehand. It becomes extremely political, and it becomes a exercise of just absolute destruction when that happens. Because you think through these things, and you have all of these things, and then people have different viewpoints on them, and it never gets done. Then you need somebody that's just going to be like, you know what? I don't know. This is going to look ugly. I'm just going to do this thing, and so what? I'm telling you, I've seen it time and time again, and people are strange folks that way. Like they would rather not do it, think through, put in all this work to actually not do it, do whatever the thing that you're working on, because they think of all these different problems and weaknesses and all those kind of things, than actually execute and get the thing done. And I am of the ilk of complete opposite. Maybe it's because, I was trained as an engineer. Maybe it's I grew up with nothing, not as much as what a lot of people have. All sorts of different things. Well, what did we do? We just kind of pieced it together. We made it and see how it works, right? Like most things, when I build it myself, are like, ooh, I don't know if that's going to work. And it's a little hokey, but you know what? It works for a damn long time. when you build it. Even though you're like, man, this is not perfect. This is pretty hokey. And if somebody wants to rebuild it and go through and do things and do all that kind of stuff, well, that's great. Let them do that. But to get something built, to actually finish it, to do something for the first time, you really just need to jump into it. There's no secrets. There's no strategic planning and all of that. I mean, that stuff, it kind of matters. But you don't know until you actually do it and you see what people care about. And once you figure out what people care about and what they're interested in, like other people, right? Like that you're maybe your audience of the thing that you're thinking about. Once you do it, then you start identifying those things. People have this unbelievable ability to pick out flaws and problems with the things that you've done. So, like, don't do it until don't fix those problems until they are actually real problems. Because I think far too often we'll get to a moment where you haven't done anything and you've thought of all these issues, and man, you just need to actually get the dang thing done. Just get it done. That's it. Get after her. Else you're just going to sit there forever and contemplate all the problems and all the issues that you have. All right. Take care. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the next pod.